You know what ticks me off? That people actually take this list somewhat seriously. I mean, who exactly is IGN? Do they hire any competitive gamers? Do the game journalists all of a sudden learn how to play video games? Because I don't know how this list was made. It's the best video games on PlayStation. Like, okay, by what metric are you judging them? Because I see video games here that are first-person shooters placed next to games like Demon Souls. Like how do you even compare these two games? Like, by what metric? By the time that you can spend on gameplay, by replayability, how many hours does it take to finish, right? Like, these are legit questions, but they don't answer. They just hit you with a list of games. And honestly, this actually made me sad because they're considered to be the best games in 2024, and most of them are games that can even be found on the PlayStation 3, not to mention on the PlayStation 4. So basically, the gaming industry is in such a decline that the best games today are games that have been made in the past. And a lot of them also happen to be remakes and reimaginings. The absolute state of American creativity, what can I say? So, okay, Demon Souls number 25. Okay, your list is shit. Like, there is no fucking way. I looked at some of the upcoming titles. There is no way that Demon Souls would be on 25, and I'll tell you why. I can see myself playing Demon Souls 5 years from now. I cannot see myself playing Spider-Man 2 5 years from now. Demon Souls is a lot more of a memorable game. Like, there are events in Demon Souls that, despite the fact that I've played them so long ago, I still remember them now. However, there is no such thing with Spider-Man 2. Like, you play the game, you finish it, and it's done. It's if you are lucky enough to actually get it to work on launch as well. Right, so Demon Soul number 25. Cyberpunk number 22. Again, which Cyberpunk are we talking about? Are we talking about the Cyberpunk that was on release, that was a buggy mess? Or the Cyberpunk that they patched and it's the one you can play today? Because if it's the one you can play today, it's definitely not on 22. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. Oh, fuck off. You know, this should be much higher. This is legitimately a video game that I would happily promote to other people. Like, if you buy a PlayStation and you're asking me what game should I play, I would say Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. Hands down. Simple to play. It's got some really cool scenes in it. It's a fun game. Why is it number 24? I mean, you're basically telling me that Horizon Forbidden West. Okay, look at the jokers. Horizon Forbidden Chin is higher than Demon Souls, is higher than Uncharted, is higher than... Oh, yeah, sure. Fuck off. Then we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on 17. Right, so Ratchet and Clank, I just want you to understand, Ratchet and Clank is actually rated higher than Demon Souls, higher than Cyberpunk, higher than even Returnal. Again, by what metric? I don't know, what exactly is it in Ratchet and Clank that you liked so much? What part of that game, which, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, didn't even sell that well, may have caused some damage to the studio? Like, what part of this game is actually better than these other games? I could see Ratchet and Clank being better than Horizon Forbidden Chin, because you don't have to look at the mansion. But, like, other than that, I don't get it. Anyway, as you can see, remakes, right? Like, you have the remakes, Resident Evil 4 and GTA 5. The absolute state of the industry. Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, would be a number 3. Like, this one should be much, much higher than it is. But still, you know, you put it at number 10, so at least you do understand that it's a good game. Despite the fact that there's a lot of acid, because like, oh my god, white people did it. The cultural appropriation. My gender studies professor told me about this before I got into journalism. Witcher 3, right? Like, Witcher 3, just, my fucking god. My fucking god. How old is this game? How old? This is an ancient game at this point, isn't it? And they're still, it's like, well, it's better than all this shit. Like, Marvel Spider-Man 2 costed, what, 400 millions to make or some shit like that? Like a little island. Can you buy Epstein's Island with the money that they used to make Spider-Man 2? So a video game that they pumped so much cash in is actually worse than a video game that they managed to create without diversity officers, without inclusivity, without equity. You know, it came from a game that had the first installment, it had sex cards. Like, literally, you would go through the world and you'd have sex with women and you'd collect a card with that encounter. That is literally the first thing that the diversity officers removed from the Witcher 1 remake, which apparently they're planning. But still, like a lot cheaper to make, a lot cheaper to buy. It wasn't, when it came out, it wasn't $70 plus DLC. Do you guys remember? I think it even had free DLC, right? So a lot cheaper to make, a lot cheaper to buy, more content. I mean, to finish The Witcher, it takes a lot more hours than to finish Marvel Spider-Man 2. Better story, fan base that's not toxic. Almost Shiroi, isn't it? Meanwhile, you have like these games, like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that was broken on launch. Almost every game that came out last year was broken on launch, wasn't it? Right? Like Star Wars was broken on launch. Which one? Cyberpunk was broken on launch, but that didn't came last year. It was before that. Anyway. Alan Woke. There is no fucking way that Alan Woke is number 9. I will tell you this, okay? I haven't played the shit game, but if it was that good, I would see memes of it. I would see people talking about it. Like at least God of War Ragnarok, right? You see people making clips and videos of it, and there's memes of it, and there's like a female Kratos that people are using in porn and stuff. Like, you know that this is a good game simply because people are talking about it. No one talks about Alan Woke besides the fact that they managed to figure out how to race swap, how to genetically engineer human beings and turn them into a different skin color. That's it. That's the only thing you hear about it. But other than that, it's... The Last of Us Part 1 is better than The Witcher. In what fucking world? I'm not saying that The Last of Us Part 1 isn't a good game, by the way. For those of you who don't know, like many people wouldn't understand why The Last of Us Part 1 is a good game. Because if you play it, it's kind of like Uncharted. And I would compare it to exactly the same vibe like Uncharted. The thing is, like, when The Last of Us came, and this is a PlayStation 3 game, right? It's just... back then, most video games, they didn't have the enemies talk outside of cutscenes. So like, when Last of Us first entered the market, most video games were like, you're walking from point A to point B, and you're shooting things, and it's repetitive, it's like a loop. But then you reach a cutscene, and in the cutscene, the story is being explained. And maybe you find a couple of notes and a couple of items that you pick up and you read. And that's how the game was telling the story. When Last of Us came out, the enemies would talk to each other and would be like, hey, he's by the stairs. Hey, right? And the enemies would talk to you. Like, they would interact with you as you're playing. And it created a really good immersion. And that's why The Last of Us is considered to be such an amazing game. Plus the story, you know, like the intro when the little girl dies, like all of that shit makes for a really great experience. So, yeah, The Last of Us is definitely an amazing game. But I wouldn't put it at number 7. I mean, it's an old game. It's vintage. You know, it's a classic, sure. But I mean, maybe, you know, but it does say a lot about the industry. It does say a lot about the industry when... a video game that was made for the PlayStation 3 is on number 7. No fucking way Hades is number 6. Fuck off, IGN. Like, this is ridiculous. Hades is a good game, but it's not the number 6. I mean, it's not better than Demon Souls. Come on. I would definitely put Last of Us Part 1 in front of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. This is not even close. Like, even the fact that they remastered part of The Last of Us Part 2, I would completely discredit it from this list. Why are you remastering a game that just came out? Like, where are we going? Are we going to the point where on 1st of January the game comes out and on 31st you have the remastered? Like, is this where we're at? Like, we're remastering games that are not even 5 years old now? Fuck off. Why are you incentivizing this? Final Fantasy VII, they censored, I don't fucking care. Definitely, like, come on, Final Fantasy VII is not a number 4. Like, you're telling me that Final Fantasy VII, the remake, is actually better than Ghost of Tsushima. Again, in what world? Probably in the world of journalism. Elden Ring number 1. I mean, I guess, but you know, like again, it's only due to the fact that I don't know what metric they're using in order to judge this. Because if you're not a Elden Ring type of fan, if you don't like the type of Dark Souls game, if you don't like how the story is set, you may like Ghost of Tsushima much better than Elden Ring. Like there are some people that do not like the esoteric way that From Software is telling the story, and I understand it. You know, it's a different way. Not everyone enjoys it. Interesting how not a single fighting game is on the list. Interesting how not a single sports game is on the list. Interesting how not a single race game is on the list, or any game that women like. No Candy Crushes, no, huh? No, what is it called? Genshin Impact? Is Genshin Impact not a good game? Is it not a good game? It's popular. Why isn't Genshin Impact? What is Saran Kagura? No anime game. Not a single one. Did you notice that? I wonder why. Do they not sell? I think they sell. I think they sell definitely better than some of the rejects on this list, but it's a little bit of Western journalism racism that's going on. Oh, it's an Asian game. I bet like Elden Ring managed to sneak in. Like they didn't realize that it's an Asian game because it's got like European themes. So they were like, God damn it, why did we release it? It snuck up on us. Anyway, I kid. Let me know what you guys think though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.